What is up, guys? It is the Problem Solvers back at it again with some more Minecraft content.
Minecraft. Yeah. All right. So, hello, welcome everybody. And I'm joined today by my esteemed, uh, you know, my esteemed guest, Allan.
Yep, never been here before.
Never been here before, but man, he's a guy. So, we're gonna talk about online dating and online dating apps, and like kind of like, not only our experiences with it, but like why it's rigged, and why you'll never find your true love. So,
Yeah, today we're revealing how big incels we are.
ooh, that's a powerful word. What did I do? I just had a tab open and I can't find it, but I had the Wikipedia open up for Match Group.
For
And,
oh.
So Match Group. Now I gotta find it. Damn it. Match Group owns a lot of other apps and companies. So Match Group is obviously their first one was Match.com. Match Group. Where'd you go?
They own apps including Tinder and Hinge.
We're getting there. Don't step on my lines, Allan. Okay, we got there. Only took this long. So, the most popular ones they own, according to Wikipedia, are Tinder, Match.com, Meetic, which I've never heard of, OkCupid, Hinge, Plenty of Fish, and Ship. And Our Time, which is the one for, people that have been alive longer. And then they also own Black People Meet, and there's another one here I recognize, but I can't find it. So they own a lot.
I've not heard of most of those, honestly.
The only one I haven't heard of is from that list I read was Meetic. It's a French online dating service founded in 2001. So it's for the French.
You know about a lot of dating apps, then.
But
wait, why do you know about the old people one?
I've seen commercials for it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure there's also like farmersmeet.com and like, Christian Mingle, but they don't own those. And then they also own, they made an offer to own Bumble, to buy Bumble for $450 million. So almost $500 million in 2017. And the Ryan Reynolds is on the board of directors. So that's kind of weird. But I mean, I guess they're like, he's a good looking guy, I guess. Like, he knows how to date people. I don't know. I don't know if that was their thought process.
Yeah, clearly he's an experienced man, supposedly.
Yeah, supposedly. So, Allan, which one of these apps have you used, if any?
Only Tinder and Hinge. I haven't heard of all of the rest of them. Or, like, I've heard of Match.com, obviously, but I haven't used it.
You ever hear of eHarmony?
Yeah.
That one...
They don't own that, do they?
No. But I am now just curious if that's, like, another giant conglomerate. They own the other half of the dating apps or something like that.
They own Bumble.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure Bumble's its own thing.
Is Bumble really worth $500,000?
But that was also 3 years ago.
Is it really worth $1 million?
What?
3 years later?
Are you saying it's not even worth $1 million 3 years later?
No, is that not a lot? I don't know.
Well, right, they made an offer for almost $500 million.
Oh, $500 million. Oh.
Yeah, $450 million.
I was like,
No. $450 million. Yeah. And so yeah, I've used Tinder, Hinge, and Bumble. I believe that's
I've
it.
also used Bumble, but it wasn't on the...
Yeah. And so, like, it's interesting because if you look at, like, almost the different messages, it's like, it's frustrating to see the messages that each app offers in a way, and then, like, but, like, then you find out they're all owned by the same company. So it's just like, do they give a shit? Probably not. They just want your hard money to become, like, a gold member or a preferred member or whatever.
Are they all rigged, like, the same way?
I don't think so. They're all rigged in different ways, but to get the same thing, which is your money. And, like, for example, I think a lot of people use Tinder to like perpetually, because like they're constantly just looking for hookups, and I think that's kind of like more of a. And it's also a location based thing. Like right now we're in New York, so it's just like one of my friends that lived in Texas for a while. Not John, who's on the podcast, another friend who doesn't live in Texas anymore, but he was saying every Tinder profile he came across was like no hookups, like anything like that, but it's just like, at least in my experience with using Tinder, because I actually only recently got it. I only got it like a few months ago, so I tried it out instead of using Hinge, and I have like, I don't know. We haven't talked in depth about this, but I've come across what seems like a lot more people that are willing to go for hookups, instead of actually looking for a relationship than he claimed to have, So,
in my experience, it actually wasn't hookup oriented. It was mostly for long-term relationships. Yeah. I mean, maybe that's just because that's what I was looking for on there, so that's all I was seeing.
Yeah.
Because I'm very picky. I swipe left on, like, fucking everybody.
Damn. See, that's another actually really interesting thing that I learned with Bumble. So when I first got Bumble, I got, like, right off the bat, they give you, like, I think they kind of boost your profile. Like, you're a new member. Like, I'm pretty sure all those dating apps do that. So in the first few days, you're more likely to get a few likes because they want you to keep using the app. And so like the first few days I got like a few apps, and then I don't think I got the first few days I got a few likes, and then I don't think I got another like for over a month. Like, and like I was using the app. I wasn't like, I forgot about it, didn't turn it on, whatever. Mm-hmm. Like I was like actively swiping like I don't know, at least like 15 minutes or so a day. And I make it sound like I was working out. Like, yeah, I was hitting the iron like 15 minutes a day.
Yeah, got in my hour.
Yeah, exactly. And then, and like really nothing, like I legit thought that something was like wrong with my app. I was like, how is this possible? I'm not that bad looking. I was like, maybe I am. And then I actually found some things online. Like people were like, no, yeah, it's just like sometimes it just kind of happens. Like you just don't get likes for a while. And then I found some memes about it where it's just like people swiping right on every single girl on Bumble. And that like there's one guy that put together this machine that was like a motor that was spinning kind of slowly and put like a fish, like a cut of fish on the motor, a cut of fish, so that it would swipe right on his phone. It would like rotate around and swipe right on his phone every time. Because I guess you could use any.
Because it was fleshy. So
yeah.
It would, like.
Yeah.
Oh, ew.
I've seen people do it with hot dogs.
Aren't there like other things you can use?
I mean, like that was what that guy. It was kind of like I think meant to be for the joke. Like I don't think it was meant to be too serious. So yeah, so like that definitely became a thing. Like I would literally open up the app, like swipe right a million times, and then close it, and then eventually I got like a few likes from that. But like it felt so stupid. I was like, I'm just swiping right on every single girl to like maybe get a match. And then even if you did get a match, you had to wait for the girl to message first. So that was like sometimes it wouldn't even matter because they wouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my experience with Bumble specifically.
If you've ever wanted to find out if you're ugly or not, just download a dating app and see how much attention you get.
Yeah. So maybe I'll find out eventually. Gotta keep holding out for that one day when I just start getting matches. Maybe I'll just be good looking one day. And so yeah, Bumble's kind of an interesting one from my experience. And then you said you didn't really use it that much, Allan.
No, not really. I didn't like the format of it, honestly, because it was sort of like using Hinge, but with the same level of commitment as Tinder. Like, because, Bumble and Hinge both have, like, the long profiles where you have, like, all the prompts, like, two truths and a lie, and then, like, you could put prompts on all your pictures and stuff. Like, you could go all out on your Bumble and Hinge profile, but, like, Hinge, you actually have to like a specific part of the profile, versus, like, Tinder and Bumble, where it's like, oh, yeah, just like the whole thing.
Yeah, that's a. So, I actually think that's probably one of the best features about Hinge. Um, and in a weird way. So when I first downloaded Hinge, this is my Hinge story, I would like, oh, somebody's texting me. Jeez, it's actually my job telling me to. Oh no, it's they're asking me to donate blood.
No, it's someone from Bumble. You can lie. You can
no,
lie.
no, no. Yeah, they want my blood. This person from Bumble. So yes, so you can like a specific part of the profile, and there's one of my brother-in-law's friends is like this really like kind of like man's man when it comes to dating. He's like, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, and like you gotta come off like a macho man and all this stuff. And he was like, never send a message with your like, because you know how on Hinge you can like a certain part of the profile and then also say like send a message with it, so that instantly matches you with the person, because now like you're in the conversation. So technically you're matched before really anything happens. And so he was like, never do that, because you'll never know if the girl is just responding to your message, like because it feels natural, or if they actually like you, like for the way you look. And I was like, I guess that kind of makes sense. And I have not been able to get that out of my head. And that was, of course, like months and months ago, like when I first downloaded Hinge. So now it's like I feel like it's cheating almost if I send a message with the like, But at the same time, I do disagree with it on a logical level, but it does make sense.
Yeah, like I don't know if I agree with that, but I also can't disagree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, are they just responding to me to be polite?
Well, no, I don't think it's. I wouldn't think of it as being polite. I would think of it as like it's just easier to respond, because now it's like you're literally starting the conversation. If you just like their profile, like a picture or whatever, then they're like all right, now I got to think of something to say, and that's putting a lot of effort on them.
Yeah, well, I mean, should you not be making it easier for them to respond though, so that like a conversation actually gets started, and then it can go like more fluid from there?
I don't know. I'm 50-50 on it.
Yeah, because that makes more sense in my mind.
I think so too. Where you would want it to be, you'd want to like you like this person, and if you have something specific you want to say, like something that was in their bio, right? Then, like that you related to or that you have in common, then I think it makes perfect sense to send them a message along with it.
I feel like the problem with the other way is, because you haven't said anything, now you're fully relying on whether or not they'll respond to you if you're good looking, because that's all they have to go on.
See, but that's where, this person was coming from. He was like, if they're going to respond just based on looks, then it's hard to say. Like, I would say he's definitely not a bad looking guy. Like, he's in shape and like stuff. But I would put him probably in the average category. Maybe slightly above average,
like a 6 or like a 7.
I don't know. I've never done that for guys.
All right, I don't know.
But I would say he's a little bit above average, But it depends on where your average point is. So so I've never been able to get that out of my head. So now, but you've just convinced me. I'm going to start actually sending a message if I actually have a like. Well, depending on maybe or maybe not.
I mean, sometimes I don't send a message. Sometimes I just have nothing to say. It's like, oh, I just like that part of the profile. Cool.
So then, are you gonna think of hopefully something to say if they match with you?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they would have to then send something back.
Do you think you have enough stuff in your profile to like for conversation starters?
I think my profile is pretty interesting. Like, I put all the weird prompts. But maybe that just makes me come off as a weirdo. What do I have on there?
Well, I guess it's more like, it's not even like the prompts. It's, it's like your response to them.
Mm-hmm. Wait, are you talking about the stuff that I sent?
Yeah.
Or the stuff
No, the stuff that's actually on your profile.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I have some weird stuff on there.
Whatever. So,
that makes me sound like a creep. I just mean like I tried to make it as interesting as possible.
Right, yeah. No, I know you, and I know that.
The internet doesn't know me.
Yeah. Um, so then what's your, you have any like weird idiosyncrasies that you do or Allanisms that you do with Hinge or dating apps or whatever or Tinder?
What do you? I don't understand. What do you mean?
Like, I don't know. I don't know. What's your experience with it?
It
When I was
sucks.
when I was saying idiosyncrasies, I was thinking like things where like you have where you won't send a message, you'll only send a like first. Like that stupid thing I unfortunately have convinced myself is better to do on Hinge.
Oh
You
no,
know.
on Hinge it's just like if I see a part of a profile that I like, sometimes I'll send. Sometimes it's just like it's not something that's like asking for a response. Sometimes it's just actually a joke that's just funny. So I'm like, oh, like, but there's nothing to say. It's just
Like you'll just
that was
say like
funny.
that was funny.
I feel like that's so like there's no reason to say that. Like maybe I should put that in as the message, just like haha, lol, ooh woo, xt. But like you know, there's not always something to say. But if it's like one of the prompts is a question, then obviously you answer the question. If you just like the question, that's weird.
I do this thing where anytime a girl's holding a Dunkin' Donuts coffee, I'll like it because I love Dunkin' Donuts. Even though, yes, I know to all our viewers and listeners out there, everybody, all of them, all of them, all of them, um, probably think that Dunkin' Donuts coffee is just watered down bean water, and it
Tasty.
is. But when you put that caramel syrup in there and that almond milk, man, that shit's good.
All coffee is good enough. Is good with enough milk and sugar.
Hmm. Well, that's actually
Do
a
you
good. What?
do you say anything like when you like the picture, like about Dunkin' Donuts, or do
No,
you just
not
like the
always.
picture?
Sometimes, it depends. Because now, like, because in my head I'm like, oh, I like Dunkin' Donuts. Like, I'll like that picture. And then if they respond, if they match, then I'll be like, oh shoot, what time is it? Oh no, okay, we're good. If they and then if we match, I'll be like, oh, I love Dunkin' Donuts. So it's like kind of a two-step process.
No, I feel
So
I feel like you should be the one saying you like Dunkin' Donuts as you like the picture, because like from my perspective, I would be so taken aback because it's just like that's what he got out of my picture.
yeah, I like to subvert people's expectations.
Yeah, just like
You know.
yo, I love Dunkin' Donuts. is
Yeah,
this
like
is this
you,
guy
you
serious?
thought I was liking your picture because it was like a good picture, but it just turns out you were.
Yeah, they spent like 5 hours trying to pose and getting the correct lighting. It's just like yeah, Dunkin'
Yeah.
Donuts.
And I was like,
Great
I didn't care
coffee.
about any of that. I just wanted to see your coffee. Um, Dunkin' iced coffee is the way to go. Dunkin' hot coffee is you know. But so yeah, with Hinge, uh, it's definitely probably the best luck I've had using any of the dating apps. Uh, but like I don't know. That's
I
all I have to say
I've
about
had
Hinge.
I've had nothing happen on Hinge.
Really?
I think I've messaged like one person and it was just so you could tell neither of us actually wanted to talk to each other.
Oh,
Just
that. How long have you used Hinge though?
I've used all of them about the same amount of
Mm.
time. Like I only really started using them last year of Adelphi, so like
Mhm.
what, 3 years now?
Mhm. That's actually probably around. No, before that's actually interesting because for the first one I ever used was Bumble. That was like when we were still kind of probably juniors or seniors or something like that. Tried that for a while and like quickly kind of didn't really like within like a month or two I was probably like not really using it anymore.
Hmm.
And um and then I went like for a while not using any of the apps. Then I went like so I was kind of like on and off with them. I only recently like actually started using Tinder and Hinge um again. So that's why like I just thought I'd give it a try because like especially during quarantine I was like why not like I'm
Yeah.
not meeting people any other way. So then what's your experience with Tinder, Alan?
Um, more matches, but less. They're like not very engaged conversations. Because my problem with Tinder is, some people literally have in their bio, oh, I only use this app while I'm taking a shit.
I've never seen that before.
I see that a lot. It's just
Wow.
People don't have this app open all the time. Like, you don't. I feel like it's something that you're not like always on. Like, I don't know. Some people are always on it, but it's something that like you use very casually.
Mm-hmm.
And like even when you match, like sometimes you are just swiping right on everyone. So if you match with someone, it's just like, do they actually mean to match with me? Because a lot of the conversations that I've had are very like, I'll just say hi or whatever, and 2 days later they'll respond. Like, I've had a lot of those sorts of interactions.
And you think it's just because they like just aren't using the app too often?
Yeah, I don't know, because that's how, like, I'm guilty of this too.
Yeah.
It's just I don't, sometimes if I see a message I will like also not respond. Like, we talked about this a little bit. Just like, I'll like think about what to say, and then while I'm thinking about what to say, I end up just going back on Tinder to swipe on other profiles, and then I forget to respond to that message.
Yeah, I do that a lot.
Yeah.
That it's weird. So actually, as a quick side story, one of the weirdest things, but most successful interactions I've had on a dating app was the first time I was using Hinge. One of the first matches I got was a pretty cute girl, and I just didn't message her for 2 weeks. And so after 2 weeks on Hinge is when you don't unmatch from the person, but they go into like they become hidden. So like you just don't see their messages anymore, but you could like unhide them and see it. So I was like, you know what? I just kind of like for some reason didn't message this girl when we originally matched. So I was like, let me message her now. So then I messaged her and I said, hey, what's up? How have your last 2 weeks been? And because that was how long ago we matched, and it worked. And like then we started talking, and we were talking for like a few weeks, and then we finally scheduled a date. And then
that's
this
smooth. I like that.
all of this really terrible scheduling conflict got in the way, and then we never went on a date, and then we ghosted each other. So yeah, that was pretty terrible at the end, but it was a great start.
Yeah, that was a good conversation starter. I like that.
Yeah, I thought I was going for broke, so I was like, it's like she's probably not going to respond, so I might as well say something.
That either goes really well or really terribly, because it's like, oh, he knows. He realized we matched 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that's actually interesting because that never came up again. That never like she wasn't. Then again, I didn't actually physically meet her, so, but that never came up to the point where, she was like, wait, why did you not message me for 2 weeks? And I would have been like anxiety or something,
It's online dating. Who cares?
See, that's another thing.
Like, who like, whatever. It's 2 weeks.
Right, but like about online dating, like it is kind of weird because you don't want it's such a weird interaction. Like the actual messaging part when you're like messaging somebody back and forth. Like I don't know this person, all that stuff, but it feels like texting. Like it feels like you're just texting a friend. So sometimes. Like I don't know. I tend to go a little bit more formal. Like I don't use what.
That's how you feel, like when you message someone on a dating app that you're
not like a
friend.
Not literally a friend, but it's the same feel as if I was just like texting normally. That's what I mean. So like, I tend to be more formal, though, because I'm like this person doesn't like we don't know each other. We could have different kind of like vocabulary, like minor things. But I tend not to use like too many like abbreviations and I tend to be like pretty formal with punctuation and stuff like that. And I'm also fucking long-winded, dude. I talk way too much in real life, so it's like on dating apps, it's like my fucking messages are always longer than the other person's messages, and it's really annoying. And then like, so it's like I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how to like keep things like concise.
You do talk a lot.
I was trying not to say anything because then I was going to be like, I'm going to accidentally cut you off.
No, it's okay. Yeah, I didn't realize you send really long messages as well, because that's not how our texts look, really. So.
Well, because we talk on the phone or like via Discord a lot, so that's why. Like I know that we're gonna figure everything out afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
For like I prefer not to communicate via texting because it's just I think two reasons. One, I realize how much I talk, because it's like there's a record of it, and two, it's just slower. Like, I find it takes too long to get the information out. So.
Yeah, you also miss a lot, like, intonations.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you don't actually mean what you're saying. Can't
That,
really get that out of a text. But sometimes you can get it if you know the person well enough.
yes, yeah, that's true. But that's another thing where there was moving slightly into psychology, because I know we wanted to talk about a little bit of that too. The some weird statistic. I think this is from the book Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman, who is like a really awesome psychologist that did a lot of work with Ernest Tversky or something like that. Another awesome guy. He said like something like 55% of the information during a conversation is conveyed via body language, and then like the other, or maybe that was inflection in voice or something like that, and then like the other, and then like 20 something or 30 something percent is conveyed via body language. He's like the last like 20% or 10%, whatever it ended up being, was what you were actually saying, and I could not believe that. And that's all you have in text. Mm-hmm. Is the physical words you're saying. So it's a pretty poor way of communicating. And same with email.
That's concerning. Really. That's concerning to me because my body language is so awful.
Is it?
I don't know. I feel that way. Like I struggle to make eye contact with people. That's like.
Are you looking at my eyes right now, or are you looking at the webcam?
I'm looking at your eyes right now.
See.
But it's different online versus real life.
Yeah, 100%.
Because like in real life, I don't know. The way I see eye contact is like it would make me uncomfortable because you're like looking at this person like into their eyes. I don't know. That's obviously what eye contact is, but it's a strange idea to me.
That you have to make eye contact, or you
not that you have to. Just like I guess I'm not used to making eye contact with people, but like the idea of making eye contact is strange for me. Like most of the people that I talk to, I don't actually look into their eyes.
But do you glance at their eyes like throughout the conversation?
Like sometimes, but that only happens because I'm aware of the fact that I'm not making eye contact with them. Mm-hmm. So it's not something that comes naturally to me. I don't know why.
That's interesting. Sometimes I notice when I'm talking, I don't make eye contact as much, but when I'm listening, I'll generally like make eye contact, but I won't like stare the person down, because that generally seems like it makes people uncomfortable, as I've learned. Mm-hmm. So try not to do that.
No, I'm not saying that it does. That's just how I perceive the idea of eye contact. Because there's some people that can like hold it well, it's just like, oh my god, this guy's making eye contact with me, like he must be very confident.
Yeah, I don't know. But I think I'm now actually interested to kind of look back at some of our videos and look at where my eyes go when I'm talking. Because I'm pretty sure when I'm talking, I'm not actually looking at anything. Like I'm not paying attention to what I'm seeing. Because like it's all, like I'm just trying to pay attention to what I'm thinking about. And the same thing happens too when I'm like really listening to something, like music. Or like sometimes a podcast or something like that. Especially audiobooks are definitely like the most, like where I notice this happens the most, is I won't really be paying attention to what I'm looking at unless I'm driving, in which case I'm definitely paying attention to what I'm looking at. But so I used to think about eye contact a lot, probably more so like when I was in high school, and then I think I just kind of like found like a pretty comfortable state right now where like I don't really think about it too much during conversation anymore. Or the fact that I haven't really had too many face-to-face conversations the past, like, 9 months or whatever, however long we've been in quarantine. 8 months. Oh, no, it's been
so, like, right now, when you're talking, do you look at me?
I look at you on the screen, yeah. I don't look at the webcam. That's too weird. It's just, like, because I'm not seeing anything.
I don't know. Why would anyone look at the webcam?
Anyway, but the other psychology thing, unless you wanted to add anything to that.
Oh yeah, so when you swipe left on someone's profile, do you look into their eyes?
Yes. I need to see that relationship will never happen. I think about all of the reasons why, you know. Um, did you
That's it.
play? Did you play the swipe night thing on Tinder?
I did one time, and I thought it was like the most stupid thing,
I thought it.
honestly.
I thought it was heavy-handed in the fact I did all 3 episodes. I thought it was heavy-handed in the fact that um, they implemented the swiping feature. They had to swipe left or right to make decisions, and I was like, all right, like it's Tinder's thing though, so whatever.
Hmm.
But I actually kind of enjoyed it because it was short. It was like maybe 5 minutes per episode, so I was like, I kind of liked it actually.
Maybe it was better this year because I did the last year's one,
Oh, I didn't even know
and
they did it before.
yeah, it's not a new thing. I didn't like it. I thought it was just like
Was it the same
really
idea though? It
lame.
was like end of the world scenario, or was it something completely different?
I didn't even open this one, but I guess yeah,
So
because the
last
last one was
year's
also end of the world scenario.
was it asteroid hitting?
Uh, y- yeah, maybe it was the same exact
Oh, maybe.
thing.
I don't know. That's interesting. But anyway, so going into the psychology of things though, and this might be a touchy topic, so whatever. Um, we're just talking about it. We don't actually. I don't even know what we believe in. You know,
Yeah, we don't
we
have
believe in.
degrees in psychology.
It's true. We believe in equality for all, and so you were saying that it's proven that white people get more matches and stuff like that on Tinder.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure that's a statistic, but like, yeah.
So I don't know. I haven't heard that specifically. But what's interesting is, and really sad, is that somewhere like years and years ago, I learned about this my freshman year of college in an anthropology class. Interesting enough, but it was a psychology study done where they took young black children and young white children, put them in like a room with 2 dolls, like a black doll and a white doll, like a kind of like those it looked like those porcelain dolls, like the American Girl
Mm.
dolls or something like that. I guess those aren't porcelain; they're plastic, but whatever. And they said which doll is, and they were the exact same, but just except for the skin color. And they're like, which doll is prettier? And it's like everybody, whether they were white or black, would pick the white doll. And it's just like this really sad thing, because you would think, like, I don't really know what you'd expect. You'd think like whatever, but it's because the idea is because there's so many more white people on TV, basically, and stuff
Yeah.
like that. There's so many more, like you just see white people more, and like they're associated with those kind of like the pinnacle of what you'd expect of beauty and all that stuff, and like
Yeah.
magazines and things like
Like
that.
all of Hollywood is attractive white people.
Exactly, yeah. And so it's it's like this really like sad thing where people of different races or ethnicities can feel like they can't ever be that attractive or something like that. So that's like super sad, and like I feel terrible about that.
But
Um,
like on that study though, you said that they look like the dolls look exactly the same,
I
just the
actually
skin
don't know
colors.
that. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I realized as I said that I was like, well, they probably had different hair color too, and like and they might not have actually been the same doll. But
Yeah,
the
'cause
main
I
the
was
main
gonna
difference
say
was
like people like of two different ethnicities don't look exactly the same. Just
right.
the skin
Yeah,
color's different because like it could have actually just looked like an unsettling doll because it didn't look.
I mean, I don't think they would do that for the study. That would be a rigged study for sure.
Yeah.
Um, let me see if I can find it really quick. Just because I should have looked it up before we started recording, but there's a video of it, and it's freaking sad.
Mm-hmm.
Is this it? Kenneth and Mamie Clark in the 1940s. They
Oh, it was
were
an old like a
yeah,
really,
really
study.
old. Yeah, they were uh, using dolls to study children's attitudes about race. This is from the uh, Wikipedia page. Let's see. So the doll experiment. I'm not gonna read the whole thing, but it was, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it. So Kenneth and Mamie Clark. So yeah, it's really very interesting and sad, but at the same time, you know, there is one. The only like caveat I can think of is that there's literally just more white people in the United States. I mean, if this is specific to the United States or whatever, like there's like 70% white. So it's like no matter really where you turn, it's just more likely that you're going to see more white people. You know, and like we live in New York, which is a pretty diverse state. But like a lot of like the middle of the country, you know, just like isn't they don't have as many big cities and stuff like that, so it's just not as diverse. And so it's, I don't know, it's just interesting in that regard. But unfortunately, it's a sad thing. So that's why, like, ever since I learned about this study, I feel like I had a better understanding of like why diversity for representation is important. And so I don't know if that's playing into this effect of that, like apparently that you've heard about on Tinder or other dating apps.
No, yeah, for sure. Like you literally said that the standard for beauty is affected by what we see on TV, which is all just like white people.
And that's why
Usually.
I'm canceling cable, I'm bringing it to big cable companies.
Yeah, just watch famous actors on Netflix instead.
Yeah, exactly. No, Quibi. All right, I'm gonna watch them on Quibi.
Disney Plus.
No, although I actually don't really watch too much TV anymore. Mostly just watch YouTube. So that's just like
Yeah,
creator content, right?
I'm never on TV anymore.
Sometimes though, I do think I like fantasize about TV, and I'm like, remember TV?
What?
You know, like
No, I get what you're saying actually. Like I think back on the days when I used to watch TV and it was just like, oh wow,
yeah.
what a nice time that was.
On a weird way, I do think of TV as a total time waster. Like, unless I'm watching an event, like something like, you know, like I watch. I'm a big hockey fan, so like I'll watch hockey, or like if the Olympics were on, like you know, like that's really interesting stuff. But also you can stream a lot of that onto my computer now, so it's like most of the time
Yeah.
I'll have hockey open on my second screen, and then I'll be like working on something.
Just watch the highlight video later.
No, I'm a big hockey fan, so I like watch the whole thing. But what was I saying though? So yeah, dating apps, crazy stuff, man, right?
Yes.
Um,
it-
what?
Where were we going with the psychology, I guess?
Yeah, I guess that it's like there's. I don't think anybody really thinks about it on the dating apps, but I do wonder if it plays into the effect where if you're not getting matches, are you thinking, oh, is it because of my race or something like that, you know? And which is something that's been talked a lot about not specifically dating apps, but just recently with like microaggressions and things like that. I actually went to a microaggression training or sensitivity training kind of recently, and a professor that we had actually that we both know of was like said it really really like eloquently, and he was just like, I understand that. He's like, I want to be fair to all my students and say, you know, and grade them all fairly and like try and correct them in class if they're made a mistake, or in lab or whatever they made a mistake. Like I want to do it all fairly, but like I do, like he's like, I don't know how to balance, like I don't want them to think I'm doing it correcting one person or whatever and it's a race related thing. He's like, I'm never going to do that, but they might not know that. So it's like, and he's like, I know it's not about the intent, but it's about the perceived feeling of it, because that's what, you know, effectively makes the thing happen, right? Like the bad feeling. So he said that really eloquently, and then the person leading the training was like saying like it's just one of those things that like you just have to work hard to like make sure that doesn't happen, but it's, you know, like it unfortunately does.
Yeah, like that can't happen. It's like at that point it's out of your control, are you saying?
I guess, yeah, I don't know. It's a tough one. But yeah. For the consolation, for the record, I'm white. I don't get too many matches on dating apps, so but I don't think it's because of my race you know, so I have that.
There are dating apps that are targeted towards like minorities though, or like even specific groups. So it's just
Yeah.
like, you know, you could use those, but at the same time it's sort of like maybe that's not all you're looking for. Cause like
Yeah, understandable.
you know what I'm trying to say. It's
Yeah, you
like
don't want to be
I'm
like, oh,
Asian, but that
right.
doesn't mean that I only want to date Asian people.
Hmm.
But does that mean that like if I'm being perceived as like less attractive for being Asian, that means that I should go to an all Asian dating app?
Um, I don't know. I don't know. There's in the I've read another book, and I can't. It might have also been in Thinking Fast and Slow, but there was a. It might have. I don't remember for sure. Oh, it might have actually been in one of Malcolm Gladwell's books. Huge fan of Malcolm Gladwell. He's probably my favorite author of all time, and so it might have been in his book. He said that there was some company that was basically had an initiative to hire a certain amount of women by a certain year, and this was like back in like the 80s or something. And so it was like they wanted to at least have 1 or 2 women per office building or something, or per office, and on average there was like 10 or 12 people in the office. So they found that they were like, well, we found that women are less productive than the men in the office, but when you actually dug a little bit deeper, they found that it wasn't because the women weren't being less productive because they were women, but they were being less productive because there weren't enough women in the office where they couldn't feel comfortable in the office and be themselves. Because now it was like you had 8 or 10 guys, all acting like idiots to get a girl's attention, and like any guy that's tried to get a girl's attention before, or anybody's attention, like that, it can quickly devolve into becoming kind of a jackass. And so, so the solution that that was eventually reached, I think, was that they realized they needed to have like 50% women and 50% guys or something like that to make it work. So something like that, and so I think the same is true with dating apps in a sense, where just like, and I've heard this also talked about by some like, I want to say by some black comedians, but I don't remember exactly again where I heard this. I should write this stuff down. Where it's like sometimes you can't enjoy a type of comedy if you know that this is from a I think this was a black comedian talking about Tyler Perry movies. He was saying like it's sometimes hard to enjoy that type of. Oh no, it was Don Lemon. I was listening to his podcast, his new podcast about race and stuff like that, and he was saying I enjoy Tyler Perry movies, but it's one of those things where like if you know like white people are watching with you, it's kind of weird. Like he's like it almost like ruins the fun a little bit. It's like these inside jokes and things that like you think are funny and you get, but like you don't want to be judged for laughing at them and like kind of all this stuff. So I think that is true for dating, where it's just like you have to feel like secure enough in a space, so if it's full of people that share some type of experience, which could just be like race, then that's enough to like make everybody feel comfortable. And then
if a white person's watching me swipe, it's kind of weird.
You were waiting for it to say that. I was trying to out-talk you. I was trying to talk so much that I wouldn't give you time.
I did not forget.
Man. So there's a lot of interesting psychology that I know nothing about, but I can't help but be interested in it. And I'm gonna stop talking. I'm not gonna say another word for the end of the podcast. So Allan, after I finish this sentence. So Allan, that's my closing thoughts. My closing thoughts are online dating.
Closing.
Oh yes. Well, you can keep on going as long as you want, but I'm not gonna talk once I'm done with this. Okay.
Oh man, I wanted to ask you about something.
All right, go for it.
Okay, so you know how Tinder is just like you can't like until you match with someone, there's no one to message.
Mm-hmm.
How would you feel about the format of a dating app where it's like you don't have to match, you could just message them already? Do you think that would be
That
better?
is the format of a lot of like the dating websites. It's like Match.com.
Oh, really?
And like that's
know.
I'm pretty sure. So I mean it works, but I think then a lot of attractive people don't use it because then they're like inundated with all these not so attractive people messaging them,
Oh, because then they would be like bombarded with all the messages.
Yeah, which probably feels nice to an extent, but it also probably isn't practically useful.
Now, how different is Match from Tinder actually then?
I don't know. I actually don't. I'm pretty sure you can do that on Match.com. I've never used it. Um, but like based on what I've heard from one of the people I used to work with, they used it. Like you can just kind of like look up people's profiles. Like you can almost like sort them by like, oh, who's interested in this, and then like a bunch of profiles will come up of people that kind of in your area, and then you could. You're thinking about using it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's more. That's the thing, where the dating websites have been around for a while, and the apps really only took over in like the early 2010s when Tinder came around. I think it was 2012ish when Tinder came around. Let's see. I'll go to Tinder's Wikipedia.
Admittedly, like I've always found something weird about online dating. Like what I knew Match and like eHarmony, all that stuff existed for a while, but it just seemed like a strange idea to me, so I never used it. And then the only reason I ever got Tinder, admittedly, was because I was in college and it was like a trendy thing to do. Like, oh, I'm on Tinder. So that's like the only reason I started using it, honestly. And then now I just use it.
Yeah.
Like I no longer. I don't want to say I no longer see a problem with dating because Match.com, like having a profile in Match still seems weird to me, even though I have like a Tinder profile.
Yeah. I think it's one of the. That's really interesting. That's because I totally get it. Like I feel the same exact way. It was a big hurdle for me to get over to finally get an online dating app. But like I still think of online dating as less than real person dating.
Yeah.
And I think the thing about the app is it's so easy. You know what I mean? You load in a few pictures from your phone, write a few things for your bio. Like if you actually like maybe spend a little bit of time making a good bio and all that stuff. But like it's just on your phone. It's not. It still feels casual. It feels like, oh, everybody's doing it.
Yeah, you're like always on your phone, so it's like always
Exactly
there. It's just another thing.
Mm-hmm. And so but I think it's weird because I have this weird expectation now that that all dating apps are like, or all dating services, online dating services, websites or apps on your phone are supposed to be like this type of game where it's like you're matching and you have to like try and figure out who likes you, and all this stuff. But I think it's in a way it's kind of gamified, like the process to make it more fun and somewhat addicting.
Mm-hmm.
And
sure.
That's probably not the normal. Like if you seriously wanted to get serious about like I just want to be in a relationship, like I want to actually meet some people that I'm like could be compatible with. The fastest way to probably do it would probably be like a normal traditional dating website where you could just see profiles. But I don't know how many people in our age group tend to do that. I would say probably not a lot.
Wait, so you mean like not like a swipe culture, but like more like Match where you can just see people and just message them?
Yeah, that's my guess. But I would think though that there's less people in our age group on that. It's probably more like
a lot
people
of
like in their 30s
the gay
and stuff.
dating apps follow that format.
Which one? Which format? Like message anybody?
Yeah, like you don't have to match. You just see like the people that are around you.
And there's probably more matches going on.
There's probably more activity because if you're on that app, you probably actually want to be on that app.
What do you mean?
Because you can message anybody, so you're not just sitting there waiting for a match to happen. Like if you went on there with the intention of talking. So if someone messages you and you're on, it's like, oh, okay.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So, yeah, that's actually really interesting, and that makes me think.
The lighting in my room just really changed.
You made such a good point that the sun hit your face. No, that's actually really interesting because if I were a business person and probably a software person as well, I would be like, what's the best way to legitimately get people to like possibly find matches on our website, and the best way to get them to stay on our app as long as possible? And it would be like we make it a game. They have to try and find somebody to match with, versus because practically speaking, like you don't want to make it super easy, And in a way, Hinge, I guess you could argue Hinge is probably the middle ground between those two things because, you don't have to guess at who liked you. Somebody but you're basically being sent random profiles, so it's like kind of random, right? Like, you're sent a profile, and you either, if you like it or you don't. If you like it, you send the like, and then the person immediately sees it. So it's not like they have to also like you without knowing it, like you would on Tinder. Like, So, unless you have the premium subscription.
Your secret admirer.
What do you mean?
Oh, have you not gotten that yet? Like,
I don't know.
you can see who likes you on Tinder if you pay.
Oh, yeah. No, that I know, yeah.
Yeah. But occasionally they let you do it for free
Oh, yeah.
through a secret admirer thing that pops up every now and then.
Um, yeah. So it seems like Hinge is kind of the middle ground. What's interesting though? I bet if an app was made that's more traditional, like if Match.com just made an app of their website, you know what I mean, and tried to market it towards younger people, I bet you people would think it was super fucking weird, even though it's been around longer. Like that type of format has been around longer.
Yeah, because everyone's used to Tinder, which is...
Allan, do you want to make an app? We'll make a dating app. We'll call it Match.org and Match.net.
We'll make another web app. We'll try to beat out Match.com.
That is interesting though, because I feel like that would have a lot of potential for people that legit are just like, all right, I've tried the dating app thing, like whatever, like it's not my thing. I just would rather, like, instead of playing this game, like I'd rather just talk to some people and see and actually get some balls off the ground, kind of, and but they're still not over that hurdle of actually signing up for a website on a computer. Wait a second, I could be late to the game here.
I have a feeling this probably exists.
It probably exists. I'm checking the App Store right now.
Maybe not exists, but maybe someone has tried it and it just like flopped.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if Match.com has an app.
Is it one of those that we haven't heard of? Maybe
it's probably just called Match.com. Yeah, Match dating app. Yeah, so you literally, like, it looks like you... I'm going to try and hold my phone. It looks like you can just search through, like, different profiles and stuff like that, and then just select one,
Cool. Maybe I'll get the dating app instead.
Well, but that's it, though. It's like, yeah, of course, I don't know why I didn't think, I wouldn't have assumed before that they would have an app for their website, because it's basically just a mobile version of their website.
I feel like that would be, like, more popular, though, because this is actually the first I'm hearing about this.
I didn't know this existed. That's why I looked it up. It's number 48 in social networking on the charts. It has 54,000 ratings. Let's look how many ratings Tinder has. How many ratings? Take a guess how many ratings Tinder has. I want to take a guess as well.
300,000. No, that's lowballing it. I feel like it would have to be higher than 1 million.
Say a number, like an estimate range.
2.4 million.
I'm gonna say it's not quite that high. I'm gonna guess it's in the one point, like low 1 millions, like 1.1.
Okay.
It has 29,000.
Oh. Wait, is that not? That's less than Match?
Yeah.
Wait,
but
what?
It also might be. I'm feeling a lot of people just don't review Tinder.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I don't know how many I don't think they tell you how many downloads that you have.
I did not rate Tinder, so.
Yeah, and I wouldn't rate it.
Yeah, I was also gonna say, like, is there a way to see the demographic for Match then? Because I guess Tinder would obviously be more popular with, like, our
You would
age.
think, right? Hang on. Where'd that Match? Let me see if I can find it again. Also, dating apps, I think, are such a hot ticket item for a lot of, like, companies that, like, they want to break into. Like, it's like there's a lot of potential to make a lot of money there because you're always gonna have a new generation of people looking to meet new people. So, so it's just like and like you're always gonna have a really, like, your audience is really big. I don't see anything about demographics. I'll see if I can find something online, but
That's fine. I assume it would be for older people, because it has been around longer. So the people that are The people that probably use it are the people that already knew it existed.
Oh, Match. Okay, hang on a second. Match.com might not be free. Like you need. There's no
Oh,
free version of it. There's a base pay version, and I think it's like $50 range. So, but that's the thing though. They're like, yeah, you might only use our website for a few months, but like they'll get you, you know,
if
people.
you're really serious about dating, pay
Well,
$50.
if I mean, I have plenty of friends that go to the well, not anymore, but that went to the bars and stuff like that every weekend. Spent $200 on like a Saturday night or more. You know what
That's
I mean? And
true.
they're trying to meet people. It's obviously, it's like it seems like a very utilitarian way of being like, do you want to meet people? Just give us $50 and we got some people for you to meet. You know.
It'll be cheaper than going to the bars or the
It
clubs.
would, but
Probably.
obviously there's more reasons people like going to the bars and clubs. Like,
Yeah.
there's also
I
yeah.
hate going to the bars. I've been in a club once, and it was like the worst experience of my life.
How long were you there for? I actually know you told me about this before. You said you like walked in, then you were like,
Yeah,
"Alright."
we walked in and then walked back. Like we were there for all of about like 5-10 minutes. And we were just like, let's go.
Damn. Well, was this like a
'Cause it was,
club with like
shoulder.
dancing and music and like
Yeah,
everything?
it was like shoulder to shoulder with like everybody. Like I had to squeeze through just to walk in, and then we had to squeeze through to get back out when we decided
Fires.
5 minutes later that like nothing was happening.
Fire safety hazard right there.
No, yeah, hated
What
it.
what
Just
is
don't
the
like it there.
we were in. You know what's funny is because that I'm guessing that was in New York City.
Yeah,
Um,
I think it was Hell's
what
Kitchen.
was that a weekend?
Probably.
Okay, because I just one of the best and like silliest memories I have was when you and I and a few other students were in LA and we were like trying to find a bar that was open. It was also like a Tuesday night or something like that or like a Wednesday night.
Yeah, but it
And
was like no, like 9 p.m. or like 10
I think
p.m.
it was around 10, yeah. And like we went to one bar that was open for a little while. And then we were like, all right, let's go to another bar. So then, like, we were walking around for another bar. And then we got to the next bar and they're like, oh, we're closing. And we're like, wait, what? It's like not even 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
It was very weird. And also, apparently, LA is like a total, like totally going down the drain right now.
Oh yeah.
With all the orange skies and wildfires and homeless people.
I
So-
heard about it on a different podcast, actually. A lot of the reason you live in LA is to go outside and enjoy LA. So, like, now that people can't go outside,
Oh.
it's like, what's the point?
Yeah, dude, the weather there
'Cause-
is amazing.
Yeah, because aside from enjoying the things that are in LA and the weather and whatever, just like being inside LA, being inside in LA is apparently just awful. Because, like, a lot of the buildings are just run down and stuff like that. I don't know. I don't live there, so I don't know how true a lot of this is, but that's what that's what I'm hearing.
It's that's interesting because my one of my favorite podcasts is I don't know if it's a small podcast. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's called the Joe Rogan Experience. And
Never heard about it. This is
Yeah.
the first you're mentioning this.
so I don't listen to all of the episodes, but a lot of times he has interesting people on. But it's kind of funny because Joe will always talk about like a lot of the same things, and just get these different people's takes on them. So, but it is interesting. So he's
Mr.
like
Rogan.
the past month or two, he's just been talking about how much of a shithole LA is becoming and why he's getting out of there and all that stuff. And it's interesting because some people are saying the same thing about New York City right now, or similar, like in different ways, but the same idea where it's just like
Yeah.
there's a lot of homeless people, there's been a lot of crime.
Oh yeah,
And then-
after hearing the thing about LA, that actually scared me about New York because I thought, like, I view it the same way.
Like you view them the same way, like what, like they're just. What do you mean?
Like, I view New York City the same way because, you know, New York City apartments are like notoriously tiny and like cockroach infested, and the reason you live in New York City is for New York City.
Yeah, it's to
And-
make it. We're gonna make it, baby.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and now people can't go outside, so it's just like, is this the same exact situation? Should I not be moving to New York City soon? Or Manhattan soon?
I had a friend that was like last year was like and who knows, maybe this would have been a good idea, where he was like, we're gonna buy a building in Queens. We're gonna buy like a 6 apartment building. Not he was trying to rope me into this. He was just like, it's only gonna cost $1 million. We just need $100,000 to put down, and then we get the rest. Like, we'll be able to like and then get renters in, and then that'll cover like the loan that we took and all that stuff. And I was like, I don't know, that's a lot of money, like I've only been working for like a year. I don't have anywhere close to that amount of money. And
That's also such a loose plan. Like, I feel like.
well, it's like he wanted to get into real estate.
Okay.
That was the idea. That was the plan. Get into real estate. But what were you saying though?
No, I just like that sounds like not very safe, especially right now.
Right. Well, yeah. So this was before all this happened, before the pandemic happened, and so I don't know if that would have been a good idea or a bad idea because of the pandemic. Because now, probably a bad idea because people wouldn't be able to pay their rents and things like that. So it's a good thing we didn't do it. I knew.
Yeah. You knew the pandemic was coming.
Mm-hmm. No, I didn't.
But
I just knew it was a bad idea.
Conspiracy theory. James caused.
Yeah.
Corona.
Yeah, I drank too many Coronas.
Say that on video?
I don't know. Being completely honest, we've been recording for an hour now.
Yeah.
We didn't come up with an out-of-the-box solution for online dating. Or I guess...
I mean, there's not a problem.
Our out-of-the-box solution is to pay more money for a legitimate dating service that everybody on there is actually looking for some type of relationship. And then...
Yeah.
And hopefully see where that goes. But also, I guess, if I had to give myself advice about dating, it would be take more chances. There's been like a lot of girls that I've was like kind of interested in, and I was just like, let me just lay back and see if anything happens, and then like of course nothing happens because I'm not trying. So that'd be advice to myself. Do you have any advice for yourself, Allan?
I don't know. I guess I like that a lot. I don't mean to steal your idea, but like
I should be a dating coach. What? Like, sorry, say it again.
Just be more active. Like, take it more seriously. Just like. Also, I guess a lot of the reason why that happens is because I'm downplaying myself. Because like I don't know. I don't feel conventionally attractive, so I'm just like, should I really be trying as hard? Will it amount to anything?
I don't know. Every now and then you'll see a guy with a girl that's like, how did that guy end up with that girl? Because like one of them is out of the other's league generally. Most of the time it's the guy is like not near the league of the girl. And
it must be really funny.
No, most of the time it probably is. It's like it's the confidence thing. It's the
I am not confident. I'm like the least confident person.
You can be confident.
In the right scenario. This is not one of those scenarios.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. I'm like talking like, yeah, you can be confident now, and like meanwhile I'm not. I mean, like I tend to be like Chloe, who's our sometimes co-host. We were talking about personality tests, like the Myers-Briggs, I think, and the one I was like the introvert extrovert thing, which is the very first thing that they kind of like give you a percentage on. I was like 51% introvert and 49% extrovert, so like right on the border. And she was really surprised by that. She was like, what? You seem like such an extrovert. Because I was like, I don't like to brag, but I was like the president of physics club, and like, I did all this like extroverted type things in college. Where she was surprised. She was just like, oh, I thought you were totally an extrovert. And I'm like, nah, most of my thoughts are like in my head.
I feel like it's perspective. Because like compared to me and Chloe, I feel like you're more of a extrovert.
I think I'm a fake
or like
extrovert.
at least compared to me. Like I don't know, Chloe seems very extroverted to me.
Yeah, I would say that's probably true.
Yeah. But some of the friends that you talk about, they seem like 100% extrovert.
Yes, absolutely. That's maybe that's all it really is. Maybe it's just how you perceive things, right? So it's like I think I'm more introverted than I am because I know a lot of extroverts.
Yeah.
But the main deciding factor for me on what is who like how to define yourself as an introvert or an extrovert is how do you need to get thoughts out? Like, do you work things out in your head before talking, or do you like figure it out by talking? And I do think I'm a good mix. Like a lot of times, I will try and think things through as carefully as I can before talking. But obviously, conversation is a little bit different. I'm talking about like before you start talking. And also a big thing is how do you recharge your batteries? Like, do you need to be around people to recharge your batteries? Like, some people like to like be around people and socialize, and that's how they recharge their batteries that way. Or do you have to be alone, and like kind of chill out for like a while, and that's how you recharge your batteries?
It's like I usually like to be alone, but there's like a handful of people that I wouldn't mind being around, like to recharge.
So like, it's like they don't.
Is that the same
they
thing?
don't. They don't inhibit your recharging, but do they help?
Yeah. I don't know. I've never thought about that. I guess they help. I mean, I'd like to think they help.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I tend to be. I need to be like totally alone, not like in complete silence. Like I could be doing stuff. You know what I mean? Like I'll generally like that's like when I'll zombie out. I'll like play a video game or listen to a podcast, or read a book or something like that. That's like I need that kind of time. Being around people.
I think
is
I'm
terrible.
just like alone more like too often. That sounds weird, but I think I take too much time alone so that whenever the opportunity to like talk to someone comes up, I'm not just like, oh my god, like get the fuck away from me.
Mm-hmm. I was not expecting that. Yeah, that's understandable. What's funny is I completely agreed during quarantine. Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
Like I remember my, must have been it was probably my junior year of college, our junior year of college, because we were the same year. I felt like the complete opposite of that. I felt like I didn't have any time to myself for whatever reason. I don't remember exactly why. Like just a lot of shit going on, and it wasn't
it's
like
probably because our
what?
department. It's probably because of our department. We were just like always there.
I remember a lot junior year. I would not go to the department. I would do work in the library because I couldn't get anything done. And but the thing was just a lot of stuff going on. Like not so, I don't know. I don't remember exactly what my social life was like. It was probably okay, but like just a lot of busy stuff going on with school and work and everything. And so that summer I went to the University of Alabama for a research internship. And that was one of like the best times for it to happen because I needed like to shut down from everybody I knew from New York. I was just like and it was great, because I didn't have to socialize with anybody. I mean, I still did, like I socialized with the other students and stuff like that, but it wasn't like every day, that was like the perfect kind of like reset. And I didn't date anybody down there though. There's one girl I liked, admittedly, but
Was it that girl we met?
No. That girl just happened to go to the University of Alabama.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't know her before that. That was really interesting. Alabama girl. Met her at a conference.
Alabama girl.
Yeah, Alabama girl, if you're listening, I just want you back, baby. So, I'm gonna cut that out.
She probably has. Even if she did somehow end up watching this, she would probably not even realize it was her.
Probably not. She was kind of a robot.
Yeah.
But she was cool. I actually still have her number. Maybe I'll text her. Out of the blue.
Oh, wow.
2 years later.
Confront someone from your past.
Next time on Content Drop Podcast. Should we? All right. Out of the box solution is if you seriously want to get serious about online dating, I guess there's better services to use than dating apps. That'll make it happen. And it might be, who knows? It might if you pay $50 for a month for Match.com or eHarmony, it might be the best $50 you ever spend. Because you might meet your person of your dreams.
Yep. Could also take some time to self-reflect. Maybe the reason why you're not getting results is because you don't see yourself as worthy. And if you don't see yourself as worthy, then no one will see you as worthy.
Wow. That is, somebody put that on a pillow. That is amazing.
Yeah.
So the out-of-the-box solution is really to love yourself.
Yeah, love yourself before anyone can love you.
What if you do love yourself, but you can't find it? You still are, like, just not having any luck.
Then you're just ugly.
Damn, it's a cold hard truth. Some people need to hear it, including myself. Um, so yeah, I don't think there's any other way that we could end this podcast, Alan. I mean, unless you have anything else you want to say.
Nah.
So then I don't think there's anything else we can do but end this podcast any other way except for an awkward silence.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, swipe right if you see us on Tinder.